Hi, my name's Jess, and I'll be reading an article that I wrote for Voiceworks Pluto edition for you today. It's called Pretty Guardians of a Queer Time and Place. So just thought I'd give a little bit of context, because I'm only going to read an extract today. So the article's about the anime Sailor Moon. Mostly I'm referring to the anime version, not the manga version, because, well, I guess anime is something I'm more familiar with. I'm talking about it in terms of Jack Halberstam's theories of queer time. Jack Halberstam's queer time is constructed in opposition to family, heterosexuality, and reproduction, which is understandable in the context of 20th century queerness, where family meant blood relation or hetero marriage, and where the domestic space was, and for many still is, paradoxically unsafe. Yet, Takeuchi's outer Senshi show it is possible to form a family that is defined more by shared experience and loyalty to each other on this basis, reimagining domestic life on their own terms. In the future of Crystal Tokyo, normative and queer life cycles and family structures are in harmony. The relativity of time, space, and identity is embraced, and the Senshi are stronger for it. Michiru, Neptune. But Haruka, this is her chance to start over, to have some peace at last. I know you mean well, Michiru, but it's beyond us to give Hotaru a normal life. It's just not possible. If she goes back to normal school, she'll stick out like a sore thumb, she'll have to jump grades every week, plus it's a waste of her power. I wonder when Haruka became the pragmatist. It would be too petty of me to remind them of their own hesitations in accepting their fate as a guardian. I knew when I first went after them that it would change their life forever. Once we accepted the life of a guardian, we couldn't go back. Do you want her to suffer again? To doom her like that? Doom her? Is this doom? To fight alongside me? Alongside us? I thought so once. Haruka didn't want to join me at first, and I would have let them go. They might have been a champion race car driver, competing in the Formula One, and me, a concertmaster, composer. None of that matters now. Michiru, it's her destiny, and it's ours too. No matter what we do, we'll always return here. Haruka is slouched over their laptop, sleeves rolled up, suit jacket slung haphazardly over the back of their chair. They run their hands back through their cropped hair, but it flops over their eyes again. They look older now, more weary than the bold and cheeky racer they were when we met, but still so handsome. I walk up behind them and squeeze their broad shoulders. They sigh. Well, is there room in this destiny for dessert? Crepes, maybe? Haruka laughs and shakes their head. Yeah, all right. I guess even magical girls need dessert. Go get Hotaru. I'll start the car. The outer Senshi, Uranus, Neptune, Saturn, and Pluto, are all individually far more powerful than the inner Senshi comrades, Sailor Moon, Sailor Mars, etc., the ones you're probably more familiar with. Uranus and Neptune are the sapphic poster girls of Sailor Moon, controversially and unconvincingly censored in the American adaptation as cousins. Uranus in particular resists gender specificity, and I've no doubt that if Takeuchi wrote the manga in 2019, she would be non-binary. Neptune, on the other hand, is an archetypal femme, motherly, musical, and wise. While homosexual pairings abound in shoujo, they rarely endure. I've had many friends less familiar with anime mistake the prevalence of queer relationships for a kind of progressiveness, without noticing these pairings often arise for comedic, tragic, or fetishistic effect. But Uranus and Neptune are a welcome exception in the genre. Arguably, theirs is the only truly stable relationship in the entire series, including heterosexual pairings, subverting assumptions about the volatility inherent in queer relationships. However, as Catherine Bailey writes in Prince Charming by Day, Superheroine by Night, Subversive Sexualities and Gender Fluidity in Revolutionary Girl Utena and Sailor Moon, the Haru-Michi pairing is long-term, loving, and sustainable. None of their comrades judge them on the basis of their relationship. Bailey writes. In fact, in the Japanese manga, it nearly goes unnoticed. Perhaps this air of stability is Takeuchi's attempt to make their union more palatable to conservative audiences, just as she designed their appearances after the man-woman dualism. Regardless, the couple helped normalise queer relationships for a generation, and showed a queer trajectory need not be impotent or fleeting. Hotaru, Saturn. At night, I lie awake. My sleepless legs are screaming. Mummy says it's growing pains. I toss and turn, and stretch, and still they ache and ache. Daddy showed me stretches, I try them again. Brief relief till I lie back down. I don't know what's happening to me. It's happening too fast. When I sleep, my muscles soften, but my mind reels instead. Squirming shadows become solid. Tentacles, vines, archways, galaxies. I know they were real once, but I can't remember. Maybe this writhing darkness is hair. Serpents, dark rivers. They reach towards me, wrap around me. They mold my body into being, bring life to organs that I never knew. I am startled, and I wake. But I'm not alone. Someone is at the foot of my bed. They have my face, my body. They hold a staff with a violent hook on its end. Who are you? She smiles and moves forward. She's drifting. She doesn't walk. I'm Sailor Saturn, your protector. Her gloved hand reaches to my forehead, touching lightly between my eyes. The time is approaching. Now is the time to awaken. And light floods in. The shadows of my mind recede like worms out in the sun, and there, left in the light, is my pink-haired lady. My heart swells. She's smiling, she twirls and gives me rice cakes. She pulls me through the garden by the hand. Chibiusa. And then she turns away. A white horse gallops towards her. She runs to greet him. He is a man with long white hair. As he embraces her, she grows into a woman. Still in his embrace, she turns to look at me, sneering, and laughs. Queerness defies traditional age structures, and this is embraced by the same subcultures that Sailor Moon fans occupy. 21st century queerness incubated on DeviantArt, Tumblr, Grindr, Discord servers, and Archive of Our Own, spaces which are simultaneously public and private, which disregard time zones and life stages, corporate ownership and capital accumulation, and allow identity to be explored through fan fiction, fan art, and the self-determination enabled by online aliases. What it means to be an adult in queer time is very different to heteronormative notions that rely on career, reproduction, and stability. People who have lived their entire lives in the closet, for instance, come out and encounter a new adolescence later in life. Trans friends have described to me multiple puberties as they undergo new hormone therapies or learn new aspects of their queerness. As a bisexual person, I experience frustrating iterations of coming out every time I engage in a homosexual relationship after a period of time incognito. Hetero milestones, based on linear sequence and stability, essentially mean a queer person cannot be seen to truly grow up. This may explain why the I'm Baby meme, which shows the gender-defiant hyper-chibi Kirby peacefully pointing to the token phrase on a whiteboard, resonated so much with millennial queers. Though animation has never been exclusively G-rated, it is widely deemed children's media, and the popularity of Sailor Moon among fan cultures, along with other cute animated figures like Kirby, Pokemon, and the characters from Steven Universe and Adventure Time, may be seen as a proud refusal to comply with hetero time. In Sailor Moon, the age hierarchy is discarded, where schoolgirls are the Earth's only hope, and where the youngest Senshi, Sailor Saturn, is the most powerful of all. After realising her identity as Sailor Saturn in Sailor Moon Super S, She literally ends time using her OP silence glaive, and is killed in the process, before being reborn as an infant in Sailor Moon, Sailor Stars. Sailor Pluto retrieves the baby Hotaru and raises her with Sailor Uranus and Neptune. Hotaru refers to her new family as Harukidai, Sailor Uranus, Michiru Mummy, Sailor Neptune, and Setsuna Mummy, Sailor Pluto. For a brief moment, this little group has all the markers of a successful 1980s family. Uranus drives a slick sports car, Pluto homeschools Hotaru on the poetry of Basho, Neptune dons a motherly lilac suit. But the family these guardians form is decidedly queer, with 3 women parents raising a child who is not biologically theirs and who will, like one of Einstein's clocks through space, overtake them all, in intellect, power and chronology, awakening as a Senshi and growing to her adolescent form within days of her rebirth. Thank you for having me, and I hope you enjoyed my reading.